Good morning, everyone. I'm Cheryl Johnson Watts, Project Director for the PACSP grant, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to this PACSP grant virtual summit. Today, we have one of our most recent additions to the PACSP grant group, and it is California Academy of Learning Charter School. As the first and only face-to-face charter school in Washington County and serving students in four, the California Academy of Learning Charter School seeks to provide a charter choice for families in rural populations. Washington and Fayette County demographics are 93% white and 3% Black, with 9.4% of people in both counties with a disability. In both counties, the poverty level is 9.1%. The California Academy of Learning Charter Academy offers low-income families and families of students with disabilities a face-to-face charter school to meet the needs of their children. The California Charter Academy was approved for 25 students for the 2022 to 2023 school year in grades K through 6 and has grown by 313% in the second year of enrollment. The growth in student enrollment is expected to be in the free, reduced, special education and white populations due to the demographics of Washington, Fayette, and Greene counties, surrounding counties. The Cal Charter Academy seeks to provide instruction to a diverse population of students with the importance of serving marginalized communities. The vision for the project includes creating a high-quality brick-and-mortar charter school in a rural community that serves students experiencing poverty and students with disabilities by individualizing the educational experience and eliminating traditional structures that limit student achievements. And we look forward to hearing from California Academy Charter School. And I'm going to introduce Heather Nicholson, CEO, who will introduce the rest of the team. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much. Welcome to California Academy of Learning Charter School. We're very excited to be able to do this summit with you. I have Olivia Christopher here, who is our Chief Financial Officer. We have Mr. Seth Springer, who is our principal. And then we have four wonderful students that will also speak to you about their experiences here. Do you want us to do our slideshow?
Yep.
Okay, so there we go. So just telling you a little bit about California Academy of Learning Charter School. It was created 3 years ago. I am Heather Nicholson. Like we said, I am the CEO as of July. Dr. Laura Jacob, who is the superintendent of California Area School District, is the founding CEO of the charter school. So how did we come about? We came out from the district. I currently am a teacher in the California Area School District, and I run the Moonshot program. That came from the Moonshot grant 4 years ago. And it is based off of no grades, no grade levels, student voice and choice. So it was such a great program in our district. It grew so well. We wanted to bring that to more students and have those opportunities for a variety of students. So we brought that into the charter school. So that's what the charter school is based off of. So California Academy of Learning Charter School, again, we started in 2022-23. We had 25 students in grades kindergarten through 6th with only 2 teachers. And we had about 8 different school districts represented at that time. None of them were actually California area school district. In 2023-24, we jumped up to 86 students, and we were able to go to K-8. We were able to have 5 teachers, and I believe we had 10 different school districts represented at that point in time. This year, we are so excited. We are up to 163 students and growing. We have kindergarten through 10th grade this year with 11 teachers and 5 support teachers. And we have 14 different school districts represented this year. Next year, our goal is to have at least 200 students, which I believe we are really, really close to. So we'll be bumping that number up. And we are allowed up to 250 next year in grades K to 12. So we will be starting our high school program next year. And then after that, the sky's the limit. And we plan on growing. We plan on continuing to do what we're doing and adding more programs. So we know that education takes a village, and learning is a team effort. We take our students, we involve the families in the planning. We ask the families what they would like from us. We ask the students what they would like to learn about, their interests, and we get to know them. And so we want this to be a community for all involved. We are giving feedback only to our students. They do not receive any grades. They receive that feedback to inform their progress. So they want to see where they started, how they're evolving to where it ends. So that is where our mastery of feedback comes into place. They master those standards. Every student hits all of the standards that we have in Pennsylvania, and we do that through the student interest. So we make the standards fit those students, and instead of making the students fit those pigeonholed standards. It works really, really well with students that have that intrinsic motivation. And some students that don't have that, they start to get it because they have that freedom to learn as they want to learn and to take their learning in their own hands. So that kind of builds that motivation up inside of them. So why? Why should we go gradeless? Why should we allow students to have their own voice and choice? We all know right now that student anxiety is at an all-time high. And if we can decrease that just by a little bit by taking away those grades, that, you know, if a student is normally an A student and they had a really bad day and they took a test and they got a B or a C, that could be really, really detrimental to them with their anxiety and with their self-thinking. So we want to take that away from them. We want to be able to just say, you know what, you had a bad day. It's okay. We're going to redo this. This is what you know, and this is what you got. So this is what we're going to work on next. This is our goal. Instead of just being a one and done. Student behaviors have also increased. Again, if we give those students just a little bit of choice, they feel empowered and they feel like this is a place where they're respected and where they can have that control over something so small in their life. By doing the gradeless, we're teaching our students our power skills. Those could be communication, working with groups, being able to deal with technology, making choices. All of those things that companies and businesses and schools need and are looking for when these students get out of high school. So we're building them at an early age so that they're able to be their best self. So adaptation, facing challenges head on, problem solving, working with groups, those are independent thinkers. Those are some of those things we've been talking about. How do you give those things a grade? I don't know how you can grade an independent thinker or how you can grade somebody that faces a challenge head on. That's where your feedback comes in. So really the question is, why not go grade this? And why not listen to the students? Because they know what they like the best. It's also been proven that grading is one of our most inequitable practices. Grading has been around since the Carnegie method back in the 1800s, and there have been some studies going on. So we have a study from Starch and Elliott that went all the way back to 1912. It was done in 1912, 1913, and then again in 2011. What they did was they gave 147 teachers in English the same test, the same passage, the same writing. Of those 147 teachers, they graded that anywhere between a 64% and a 98%. It was all based off of that teacher, what they were looking for, or teacher bias. So if the same question can be a D at a 64% or a high A at a 98%, that is not equitable. Same thing for math. They gave 128 teachers the same exact math test. It ranged from a 26% to a 95%. So again, teacher bias, what are you looking for? If a teacher's just grading the whole problem or if they're grading each part of the problem. So we are trying to get rid of that inequity and have everybody on the same playing field. Some teachers also give homework grades versus performance in class. If you have a parent at home that is there and able to help you, to help work with your studying, help you with your projects, you may end up with an A. A person that goes home that their parents are working or they don't have anybody that is able to help them, they don't have the resources, they may fail that project. How is that fair? If they both know the information, but they can't show it to us because of something that is out of their control, it's not fair. Businesses and organizations, again, we're looking for those collaborations. They're looking for competition with themselves, not amongst each other. Grades can be used by students to feel superior. If I get an A on the test, I may walk around feeling really great. And I may tell everybody that I got an A on that test. But somebody who has been really trying and improved, but still got a C on that test, they're not going to feel as great about themselves. And especially if somebody is going on and bragging about what they've got, it's really detrimental to other students. A lot of colleges now, MIT, they do not do grades for the first semester for college freshmen. If MIT can do it, anybody can do it. There are many other colleges that also do not have grades for that beginning freshman. They want them to learn how to do college. We want them to learn how to do school, learn how to do life. So some past thoughts versus some new knowledge. We've always thought that students thrive on competition. They need to see that grade to push themselves. If they got a B and they really want that A, they need to see that so that they can push. That's not what we're seeing now. We need students to push themselves towards understanding and mastery of learning, not just reading a grade and then stopping. You get a grade on a test and you move on to the next subject or to the next idea in that class. We need those students to make sure that they are understanding all of those concepts because the concepts build upon each other. So if they are mastering the concept that is being taught, they can move forward. But if they haven't mastered it, we still need to revisit that and get them up to that mastery. Past thoughts again, so grades should be a reward or a punishment. We want to get away from that. We want that we know that once a grade is given, learning stops, no matter the grade. You get 100% on the test. I'm a genius. I know exactly what I need to know. I don't need to think about that standard any longer. I get an F. I'm stupid. The teacher's stupid. I don't understand it. I can't figure it out. It's going to stop. The learning is going to stop again. It is easier to write 94% A on top of a test than write a feedback or a reflection. Good feedback, good reflection does not have to be always in written form. It can be verbal. You can give that student that encouragement and help them. By taking those extra few minutes to write that feedback and that reflection, that is allowing students then to see what they know and where they need to be for the next time. You can also have your students grade themselves, reflect on their own testing, what they think they did right, what they think they did wrong. AI is going to be your best friend doing this. You can use it to help set up a guideline for yourself, and then you can then take that and put it in for individual students. It's been done with grades as long as I've been teaching in a student. It has been. But cognitive science now shows that grades are ineffective for learning. My students that I have in my program and the students that are here choose to be here because they want that feedback. Those parents choose it because they want that feedback. They want to know how their child is doing, not just if they have an A or a B. Some parents, we need to get away from those thoughts, but that's a work in progress that we're working on. So this is just a little funny little cartoon, which unfortunately is so true, that we have the state coming at us, we have the school board coming at us, we have the teachers coming at the students, and then the students are the ones that are unfortunately dealing with everybody's stresses. We're trying to get rid of this. Excuse me. So we ask our students, what does your ideal school look like? What would they like to see if they walked into our school building? How would they like to feel? What would they like to learn? And then we try to create lessons and opportunities for them that will then incorporate all of those ideas. Post-secondary responses to no grades. I personally reached out to all of these colleges. They were all very open to a no grades policy. They feel that since COVID, many of the students are coming just as well prepared for their universities, and especially if we can give them a letter talking about their character and talking about what kind of student they are. So we're working through some challenges as well. But I can tell you that last year we did have a student graduate from our Moonshot program in the district. She is currently in college doing well. She was able to get scholarships. All we had to do was write a letter and explain what our no grades policy was. And then here's just some resources from our research on this topic and my information if you would like to connect with me at any point in time, and I can help you out. So I think now we're going to go to the students and we're going to let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about why they chose to come to our school, what makes it different, and how they feel about the no grades. All right, Capri, you want to start?
Sure, why not? So
Tell me your name.
I'm Capri. I came here because I needed to get away from the harsher environment of all the grades, all the pressure. So the no grades has really helped me. And I also came here for more individualized learning since I was always in like the gifted program and I always needed a little bit higher up than most of the other students. So my teachers really helped me with that. Like they let us do projects on topics that we want to do and that kind of stuff.
Good. Tell your name.
I'm Erin, and I came to the school because for whenever COVID hit, I went online for a couple of years, and I really didn't learn like really anything being online. Like for me personally, I just couldn't do it, and I couldn't go back to my old school because I would have been behind in that school, and I probably wouldn't have got the best grades. So I came to the charter school, and I liked the school because there are subjects that I'm faster in learning, and so they teach me to like how I learn with that. And then there's subjects I really struggle in, and they help me with that to be better in like the subjects. Like for example, in math, I'm not the best at math, but they teach me like even like the littlest of things, and I just like how they give us choices on how we want to learn some things. Like sometimes like we have the choice to like choose a project we want to work on, which I like that.
And Erin was one of our first 25 students that we had.
I'm Abigail Hoover, and I'm in 6th grade. And from my district before I came here, I was very shy and I lacked in like self-confidence. But now that I'm here, I am more creative. I talk to more students, and I definitely feel like I have more friends. But what has the experience done for us, and what has Cal Charter done for us? Me personally, it has, like I said, boosted my self-confidence, but it has also taught me more ways to learn. With the no grades, it pushed me to go faster. I was a straight A student at my district, but I just stopped learning after that. And from this, I can learn more. If it's about math, if I got it right, I can go past that more. Like I can learn more from that. I can learn more multiplication than when I'm already learning, more different ways to do it. And that experience in Cal Charter has done a lot for me as a student, but also for me as a person.
Hi, I'm Kanani. I'm in 7th grade, and this is about going to be the end of my 2nd year coming here at Cal Charter. And one reason I came here was for like the no grades, because I was also a straight A student at my own district, and it was just like it took like a load of pressure off me, because like one time, like how you were saying about like how the tests like came up, like I was A, and then like I took a test and I was like down to like a B for it. So then I came here and it felt like a load of pressure off. I could be like more creative. I could be at my standard, how I want to use my learning.
So now we're going to talk about some of the projects that we've done in the past that let us do our individual learning. So one of my favorite projects from last year was we finished reading a book in ELA, and it was all about like this guy interviewing his father about the Holocaust. So we got the option to do a bunch of different projects, but I chose to interview someone who inspires me. So I interviewed my great grandmother, and she taught me all about Pearl Harbor.
One thing that I liked that we did was it also had to do with Holocaust. What was it?
One thing that I did was the Taj Mahal. My class all researched the Taj Mahal, and at the end we had options to make different models. The Taj Mahal is a wonderful piece of architecture that is very detailed. I chose to make an edible version of the Taj Mahal, and it was a cake. I baked it at home, covered it in white icing, and I brought it in to share with my class. We ate it together, but also it led me the chance to be creative, and we all had different things, so we could bounce off ideas from the model, and it was just a great experience for us to all learn different things from each other.
And one project that I like doing, it was, we were reading a book last year, and she was reading like about the Holocaust. I was reading about like a game. It was like this big old like family of people, and then they were like playing a game from it. And then at the end, we got to pick our big old final project, which was really nice because I didn't want to just like write a report. So I got to make a board game out of that project, and it was really fun, and I still have that project.
Thank you, girls. All right, next we have Mr. Seth Springer, who is our new principal. Just came on about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Feels that way.
It does, but it's not, I know.
Yeah, so my name is Seth Springer. I'm here roughly a little over a month. I came from a school district. I spent a number of years at charter, but I came from a school district. I took a pretty big pay cut to come here. I travel 1 hour every day each way to come here, and I came here because I believe in what the model is, what I personally do in my classroom as a leader. When I was leading different schools is what this school does, and it's definitely a wonderful opportunity. But what I want to show you right here is a progress report. So we talked about no grades. Our teachers spend the time, and as you can see on the screen right here, I'll start on the left column. That's the subject. The next column is the standard. The next part is very important. So we pass these out to the teachers. The parents from the teachers. It talks about examples. Here's the standard, but here's an example of the standard. And then the student will either have, they will be emerging, they will be developing, they will be meeting, or will be mastery. So the teacher will explain to the parents what it is, and then they will get feedback. So this is an example of a five-year-old student in essentially a kindergarten class, the feedback that the teacher is giving to the parents. We will have parent-teacher conferences. This next week we have one, but starting next year, we will have 6 different times where the teachers and the families will be meeting, at least 6 different times, where the teachers and the families will be meeting together to go over the academic and the whole child progress of that school year. So as you can see, the teacher right here gave what the student is doing well in that with that particular standard, as well as what they can improve upon, and then next steps, when maybe they can do at home or further on in classroom. So we're finding that this communication between school and family is really enhancing our students' progression, as well as letting the staff share with the families of what is going on a regular basis within the classroom. Thank you for that.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
Here's a question in the chat. What's a skill or concept you've mastered that once felt challenging? How did you get there?
Is there something that you felt that you mastered that maybe was a challenge in the school district?
So in my old school district, we did, there was a social studies class, and I never learned like any of that stuff like before I went to my middle school. So we were reviewing like state capitals, and my teacher called on me. It was like, "Hey, give me the capital of Minnesota." And I'm just like, and I couldn't think of anything. But then this year, at the very beginning of the year, it was like the first or second week, my social studies teacher went over all of that sort of stuff, like the state's capitals, like basic stuff that you need to know. And now, like, social studies is one of my best classes that I have. Like, right now we're going all throughout American history, and we're just thriving, so.
You made a connection with it.
Yeah, I finally decided to click.
Yeah.
Did anyone else want to share what skill wants a challenge?
I have one. I was not very good in English with like my grammar and how I would use words. And when I came here, I learned a lot of new words, how to say things in sentences. a lot better. And actually, the leader of emerging leaders, that is all who we are, teaches us a lot of new words and a lot of things that we can use to if we're going into interviews and how to act. And so being aside of being a student, we have also developed as leaders and also developed as people. And that is something that a regular school would not have because they're not really going into business and how you would act in an interview. But here at Cal Charter, we go over all different types of things. So when we grow older, that we will be in the best position for a whatever job that we choose.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share on that question?
I will. I'll go off what I was saying in English because sometimes I used to struggle with like verbs and adverbs with it. But then I came here and it gave me like a little bit more help than I usually do because I would struggle with it. I would get confused. I would just stop and just take a minute. And now I'm a little bit better with it and I can actually move forward with it and actually know what I'm supposed to do and how to word it correctly and not like freeze and use the wrong thing and mess it up.
Awesome. And one other question in the chat. How has learning with peers in a non-traditional setting helped you think differently or solve problems in new ways?
So group work, working the way that we are, where we're not a traditional school in desks, things like that. How does that help you and what have you learned from that way?
Like I said with my Taj Mahal cake, so many people did many different things. One person made a 3D print of the Taj Mahal. One person drew the Taj Mahal. And just having so many like different qualities and different characteristics of a person with not only their learning but who they are definitely contributes to like how we see things differently. Like if you have a straight A student but is not that creative, and then you have a more creative student, they can bounce off each other, get new ideas, and just develop as a person but also as a student. So the group work definitely helps with many different personalities going off of each other to improve.
And with my group, I was in a group, we were doing a project in this, in our science class it was, and I was with Capri and another girl in my class, and we were just like, it was about atoms, wasn't it?
It was about Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee was an element on the periodic table, because that's what we were learning. And we had to make a presentation like about the atom and like how who found it and what it does, its chemical and physical properties. And we just all like worked together in the group. Like Capri was better at like typing, I was better at like making it like creative. And then the other girl was good at presenting.
I think the group work and the projects, from a teacher and an admin standpoint, we get to know the students better. We can see their creativity. We can foster the areas that they are really strong in and help those areas that where they are weaker in. Like Kanani said, she's very, very creative. So we can see that. Maybe, her weakness is getting up in front of people and presenting. So then we can foster that, we can help that. So we get to know the students really on a very personal level by doing the no grades and doing the project-based learning, group work, things like that.
Awesome. We have one other question in the chat for the students. If you could design your own learning experience for a week, what would it look like?
So if I could design my own learning for a whole week, I would probably try to make each subject like a little higher up. So I'd probably be doing like eighth grade or ninth grade stuff because I like going up ahead and doing all that sort of stuff. And I would make sure that at the end of that final week, I would have a huge final project that I would have to do because I love projects and slideshows and all that stuff.
And I also I feel like I love being creative and like doing little duo projects. Like I'll learn about it for like a little bit and then I would love to just make a project about it and like make it colorful and bright, everything.
If you guys could pick one thing that you wanted to learn about, if you had a week and you could learn about any subject at all, what would you guys learn about?
I would probably want to learn about math because that is a subject that I'm strong in, but also I haven't mastered it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to dive into it more and just take that good and make it into a master.
Okay.
And I think mine would be, I'm really strong in ELA, but I think I might have to pick social studies because like I'm not the best, but I always like love being curious about it sometimes. And like it's history.
I would probably want to do social studies as well, but I'd want to dive deep into like World War I, World War II, because I never got to learn about any of that stuff yet. So
There you go.
Awesome. Well, are there any other questions for me? I'd like to take a moment to introduce Jessie Bean of Vertex Education, who is our technical assistance lead on the PACSP grant. And Jessie, you've had some experience with the school now, and can you share some of your insights?
Sure thing, Cheryl. So good afternoon, or good morning, I guess. Happy Friday to everybody. We had the pleasure of visiting Cal Academy Charter just a few weeks ago, about a month ago. You guys were fantastic hosts, and we enjoyed learning from you and with you and convening a conversation of other charter school leaders from across the state. So we're happy today to be able to extend that learning to the folks on this call, but also to record it so that folks in perpetuity can benefit from the trail that you guys are blazing at your school. So I love the concept of kind of uncoupling seat time from learning and kind of liberating kids from the industrial model where just because you happen to be 12 or 13 and in seventh grade, you're consigned to a certain lock and scope and sequence as far as the state standards go. We should be empowering kids to learn at their own pace and to master concepts and subjects that they're passionate about. So you guys are inspiring us, and we applaud the work that you're doing. And the fact that you're figuring out how to be innovative within the constraints of a public school with all the requirements that come with it, which is no easy feat. So we know that you're still beholden to the state assessment model and everything that comes with it, and you have to prepare kids for success in high school and beyond. So we know you're doing that, and we're looking to you to continue to inspire us and lead the way. So thanks for sharing best practices with us and inviting us into the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I also want to introduce Shantae Smith. She is our manager of member and business partner engagement, and she wanted to express her appreciation to you in writing, and I'm going to ask her to express it by conveying it to you in person since she is here.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to tell you that it's very enlightening to see not only the leaders presenting, because we know we can present when need to, but to see the scholars come in and when they're speaking about their education experience, you see a lot of joy. Hi, Seth. You see a lot of joy on their face and the excitement. And that's how education should be. When you're coming into school, it should be an avenue or an environment where you feel light and excited and energized. And you can feel that coming across, which was why I was giving all the questions, because I wanted to hear from the kids, what their experience was like. So I wanted to take the time just to say thank you, because it's been very fruitful for me to learn on this side of what you guys do. And just for the scholars and their input, I love this model. I think it takes away a lot of stress and restraint when you're just catering and fostering to the child's needs, not to systematically what they think we're supposed to do, but how we're supposed to train and raise these kids. So thank you for this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it would be wonderful if we could close out with a statement from each of the students about how they would speak to another student that may not be in this type of environment, but to express to them what you see as the benefits. So basically, you're not talking to us, you're talking to someone that you might have seen at the playground or seen at the supermarket, and they ask, "Where did you go to school?" And you say, "This is where I go to school." And they say, "I never heard of that school." What would you say to them about what you love about your school?
Anybody?
Okay, I guess. I guess they're all pointing at me, I guess.
What do you say to that?
Yeah, so my cousin, she's gonna be coming to this school next year. And I was telling her about like, oh, I just got to do this amazing project and next week we're gonna get to do this whole new thing. She's like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And she goes to a Catholic school, so she won't be able to go there next year because it stops at 8th grade. So her parents have been frantically looking for somewhere to go. And I was like, how about you come tour my school and check it out? She was like, oh, okay. And then she came and she's like, I loved it and I'm coming here next year.
Great.
Something that I would probably say is that as those first years, one thing that we have accomplished is a slogan for Cal Charter, and the school, we have all picked it out, and it's above and beyond. So Cal Charter above and beyond, and we came up that up as students, but what it really means is that we go above and beyond here. We are creative with learning, but we also have great education. So that is what I would say to somebody that's coming here. For Cal Charter, we go above and beyond, and we have creative learning, but the education at the same time is very good and very involved.
I guess I'll go. And I think one thing I would say would be about like the education and then how you learn it and then like just people here that make it also fun. Like the teachers, when you come in, they make learning fun for you. And like you can on your level say you more like learners, like how to look so up where I would say like you can know that your standard, you can like even like be back a little bit. As long as you understand it, then I feel like you will be fine. And like, all the fun things we do here, it's like Mystery Motivator and the SOAR. I feel like that just makes people want to come to school more and more every day to learn and have fun.
I would say that it's definitely it's not stressful, like not really at all. Like it's pretty like easy going, and like obviously like they challenge us, they want to make us better, but like they don't like make you feel bad about yourself. Like if you don't know something, they're not gonna like, oh, well, it doesn't matter, we'll just move on, you just whatever. But they'll like want to help you with that, and because all they want is like the best for you. They want to set you. They want to make you the best version of yourself.
And it's like thrive.
Yeah, thrive. They want us to see us thrive.
Awesome. Heather or Olivia, is there anything else that you would like to say before we go?
Just, I think our students here have said it all and have encapsulated what we do. We make it fun, we make it interesting, but we expect a lot from them and we push them towards their better self. And we do want what's best and for each one of them and to just make them even better people than what they are. We have a great bunch of kids here at school.
Awesome.
From an administrative point of view, these students here, just a few of them are the example of why, as an admin, you keep going and keep showing up because it's a difficult job. Sometimes you just want to, shut your door and just take a break. But when you go out and have the ability to be with these students during their projects or a fun time, it gives you the why you're here. And it's really because of the students.
And Olivia, we should add that you are not only an administrator as CFO, but you are also the one of the two co-founders that went down to the bank and deposited $35 to get this school started. And so you have already seen the abundance that has generated from that very small mustard seed. So,
oh yes, for sure.
Congratulations. Awesome work. Thank you all for sharing with us your experience. There's so much to learn. Thank you for that wonderful explanation of the generation of the grading system. That was profound, and I have to go back to that one slide alone and just kind of study that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And if there are there any other questions? There may be some folks that were kind of thinking through some things and you now have a question. Just want to double check.
Thank you, Cheryl. How have you felt about your confidence since coming to Cal Charter?
Has your confidence grown?
Oh, yes.
And that's the one thing that I hear is that they feel more confident in what they're not feeling like they have to be challenged or be the best at something, but they're learning something as they go along with the project.
Yes, absolutely. And we as administrators can see their confidence grow, daily.
Thank you.
That's what education is about.
That's right.
Any other questions or feedback? Well, Terrence Smith of Midland Innovation and Technology Charter School, you said it all in the sense that it's about learning. And it's going to be an amazing world when we all really learn everything that we have passed through the grading system with. And we can take our learning and actually make a difference in this world. So thank you so much. We appreciate all that you're doing. We thank all of you for taking the time out of your day, those who were listening in and those who presented to us. And we're going to close out right now. And thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.